Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the TBR podcast. My name is Rory. I am the Director of Operations here, and today I am joined by our Director of Growth, my coworker, and dare I say friend, Mr. Tim. Tim, welcome to the show.
Hey man, it's so weird to be on this side.
I know, what happened?
I know, we're trying to take a different spin on every single episode, have people from our team showing up and talking about what they're doing, and as a host, I never got to do my part, I guess. So
So here we are.
Here we are.
So short abridged version, Tim. What do you do here?
Well, I am the Director of Growth at the Best Reputation. I handle all sorts of marketing-related tasks having to do with growth in every which way possible, lead generation, inbound lead gen specifically, getting our platform mentioned on different websites online, and trying to grow TBR. I mean, in a nutshell, I'm doing everything in my power to grow TBR and show that it is a platform that you can rely on.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's just kind of hop into it. ORM. What does it even mean? What does it mean to the people?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because ORM I think had a different meaning before, but now in this day and age with AI and everything, it has really changed its meaning. It can mean multiple different things. I think it is SEO. I think Chris puts it really well, SEO and PR combined, and I think that's very true because it's definitely an SEO forward with, and then, if you are mentioning, if you're being mentioned on the articles and stuff, that is, of course, going to help boost and influence that SEO growth that you're looking for. But nowadays, it's also an aspect of AI and how you look on AI tools. That's one of the reasons why I've been working on AIoverview.com is to help us grow in that area, AI-specific reputation management, which is still an aspect of ORM, but it is a different beast altogether, essentially. So I think the best way to put in one sentence what ORM is it is a tool set for your brand growth that will help make you look the best you can look online.
Yeah, just to comment on something you said earlier, I found that a lot of people are using AI tools more like we might have used Google back in the day. It's just people are going to AI for a lot of their questions and trying to get a lot of answers through things like Claude and ChatGPT. And that's kind of the direction I think a lot of this is heading.
It's kind of crazy. I've read some numbers before. I am not gonna say that this is exactly true and it's exactly accurate, but I think somewhere around 95%.
Whoa.
Of the searches have an AI component to them, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, either you're looking at AI overviews or ChatGPT or other. It's crazy. It's all over the place, and the accuracy is the biggest concern from my end. When I market a platform or one of our, when I market one of our clients online, for example, I want to be accurate and do my due diligence and make sure that they are they're given the best quality of work. And with AI tools, it's hard because they can sometimes bring to attention aspects of your company that you never thought would be on page one or on surfaced on these tools, on these AI LLM tools, but they do end up getting surfaced. And I think it makes my job both more difficult, but also more of a opportunity in a way, because now I can try and use these tools to help my clients even more. And that's a good, I guess you could call it a red herring, I guess, in a way. Yeah.
Well, from my understanding of it, is it you also have to program things into sites now to accommodate, and that can really help LLMs find you and get better rankings. Is that right?
Oh yeah, there's stuff like llms.txt. Of course, schema markup is always going to be important. One thing I tell people, and I've told this many times, is the game has not really completely changed. It's just that there's new players on the board. I think that is very true. Schema markup, backlinks, domain authority, all these things, Moz domain authority. I mean, they are the ones who came up with it, right? But I mean, all these things have still matter a lot to crawlability. And to make sure that these AI tools actually do surface your content. Yeah. So it's the same stuff. It's the same SEO tricks as before, but now a little bit more. And then you have these like text files like llms.txt that you kind of do need to pay attention to because you want something legible for these AI tools so they can surface your content that you want surfaced. I said Surface a lot.
Sponsored by Surface. So let's circle back, Tim. Just kind of tying it in so online reputation management. It's kind of a tricky sell. So you're selling something that a lot of people sometimes don't even see. And the industry has kind of a baggage problem as a lot of firms kind of overpromise results, false guarantees, stuff like that. So how do you actually build demand for something that is ultimately kind of invisible?
Yeah, you have to do a lot of digging for answers in marketing. I think every single client that you have you need a unique approach, and with clients needing work in reputation management, marketing is just one of the most important aspects. So you kind of have to, first off, you have to find the right assets that have to do with that industry, and I think you need to. I think majority of the work is just researching and making sure that you are allocating the time for that, making sure you're finding the right articles that you can publish for them, making sure that you are posting the right social media content, of course, making sure that you are putting the right schema markup and the stuff that I mentioned earlier. llms.txt, schema markup, these things, all of these things matter. I put myself in this field of course, marketing, but also marketing with the specialty in SEO, because they're not the same thing. Let me tell you, like, you can be an SEO specialist and you can be a marketing specialist, but you can't. Some people are not both, right? And with ORM, you have to be both. You have to have the know-it-all of SEO backend, so that you can then influence and grow that inbound lead generation that is super important for any of our clients.
Right. So how do you get clients to ultimately trust you with something like this?
Honestly, results are number one proof that you need. We try to basically tell our clients and show our clients that we will give you reports every few weeks or every month or however you want it. Honestly, we will be open in every way with communicating with you what has changed, what we have done and worked on. And I think that in particular is what helps build trust over time. I do see this all the time, that like first month is always a little iffy for clients because they're like not sure if they made the right choice, not sure if this is going to go anywhere.
A lot of sensitive data and a lot of feelings involved.
100%, yeah. It's so hard. Like if I was a client and asking for ORM services, I would be very worried about what I'm going to get, because it is such a specific niche. And you're not sure, if you've not done any work in reputation management before, if you didn't have any work done in that, you don't know what you're going into at all.
Yeah, there's a vulnerability to it.
100%, yeah. And we try to reassure our clients every time that they will get the services that they asked for. It's just going to take a while to get there. It's just the nature of SEO. Yeah.
So let's get tactical for a minute. What channels are actually moving the needle for TBR right now? What looks good on paper, but ultimately kind of doesn't deliver here?
So you kind of have to separate it into two categories. One is brand awareness. The other is lead gen. There are things that work for lead gen a lot better, right? Which is blog posts that are super optimized, that are looking great. Back-end structures of the website, making sure all that stuff is going well, and then making sure as well to keep track of all the placements that you have online, gaining more backlinks all the time. All that is a lot of work
Yes,
on a
for
daily. Yeah, because you have to talk to people and know how to talk to them and get the right people interested in your product. And there will be, of course, exchange of money involvements as well. Of course, if you're trying, especially if you're trying to secure good backlinks. Whoops. Blah, blah, blah. Goodbye, Rory. If you're trying to get good backlinks, it's gonna require you to have that know-it-all for sure. So there is that aspect, which is perfect and it works for lead gen, and that is super important. But just as important, and it's not going to give you direct leads, but it will indirectly help your business, brand awareness.
Right.
And this is something that a lot of established companies, not just in reputation management, but in all industries, a lot of established companies start to not care about brand awareness as much. They start to just like, I don't, excuse my language, but half-ass it, essentially. So you should not do that. You should not half-ass this brand awareness stuff, because it's going to fuel that growth and fuel that lead gen that you want over time. Indirectly, but it does matter. So brand awareness is stuff like social media. Blogs too, technically, are also brand awareness, even though they are lead gen as well. Social media, YouTube, all these things, newsletters, I don't know, all these like secondary things that, you keep the community updated on what you're doing. I think that is a great, first off, it's good for client education, which I'm going to talk about later on as well. But it's also good for, keeping things on track.
Right. So a lot of these companies may not understand, or a lot of people may not understand, what's the difference between things like earned media versus paid media, content versus SEO, partnerships versus social. How does that all configure? If you had to kind of like rank them by like ROI, how would you list them, and like what's that order?
The best way to gain exposure and gain leads, I think, is through earned media. 100%. I think I would put that as at number one, because earned media, if you're good at that, like if you're natural at gaining earned media, first off, it's very low cost. You don't need to put in a much money into it. Second, it's actually quite easy. You have a bunch of platforms like Quoted, Featured, I'm not going to go into details, but like there are a bunch of platforms that you can use to pitch and answer questions, and include your business in those answers. And that is a really natural, organic way to kind of approach SEO work. Then, of course, blogs are so freaking important. Blogs, articles, I'm gonna group those in the same category, because blogs and articles are both part of the same content creation process, essentially, except one is external and one is internal, and you need both. So blogs and articles, external articles, internal blogs that are communicating with each other, that are linking properly, all that stuff is going to be super important for marketing and SEO growth, and will actually get you to rank on page one. If not page one, at least it will help you rank on LLMs, which we know every day it gets crazier and crazier on this. More people are going to be looking at LLMs. So that's, I think, number two on my list, I would say.
So where do most of these firms and companies kind of waste their budget on stuff like this? What are the steps, and is it individual for each company?
Oh, wow. Yeah, good question, because I think paid marketing, paid ads can be such a waste. If it's not done right, it can be a huge waste for you. If you're doing any sort of paid marketing, if you're running Google ads, Meta ads, whatever, it can really drain your budget really quickly.
I feel like a lot of companies kind of go that route. That's kind of maybe one of the first steps that they take.
And that's the wrong choice. You need to do organic marketing first, and that needs to be a priority. Because if you have a bad month, you're not going to have the budget to run ads. You're not going to have the budget to run ads. You're going to have to rely on those organic, mediums that you have at your disposal, and on those months you're not going to make any business, and that can get worse and worse and worse, and you can lose your business that way. I think over reliance on ads and all that stuff is a bad choice. I think ads should be a secondary thing to help boost your presence, but it cannot be the priority for your business, because you won't make ends meet, I think, if you're gonna go that way. And you have to do it a certain way. You have to do ads a certain way. And I think a lot of times, and I hate to say this, but like there are occasions when you're doing everything right with ads, but the traffic is just not there. And that happens all the time. It could be an off month or whatever, and you're just wasting your budget. You need to have organic things to fill that gap.
Yeah, so when it comes to content, and especially paid or created media, how important is targeting versus the content itself?
I think content is more important, and that is because if your landing page, for example, is not optimized, if UX of the landing page, user experience of the landing page, is not set up properly, and you're not approaching that the way that you should, it's just if it's bad UI, if the contact form is not optimized where it's supposed to be, if the call to actions are not where they're supposed to be, then that will hurt how many deals you will create from that paid lead gen, and how good of a quality the ones that do come in are. So optimize your content, everyone. Seriously, that is the best way to get quality leads. The best way.
So a lot of agencies treat SEO and reputation management as kind of separate things, separate entities. I feel like TBR really doesn't do that. Why are they the same conversation, and what does that really look like in practice?
Yeah, so reputation management, I think, is more of an umbrella term than SEO is, if I'm being honest, because reputation management has an aspect to it that is SEO, as in, page one rankings and stuff. That has everything to do with SEO and, the back end, like HTML code of the site and stuff like that, and the files that you have on the site, and how they're utilized by the crawlers. All that stuff is SEO work, and that is I would say that is 75% of reputation management is having to do in some way with SEO work. But there is that other 25%, which is PR, of course, but then there's also other factors there. I think with SEO work, it is not going to be as targeted as reputation management. That is going to be the big difference, With reputation management, you are suppressing a specific piece of content or review, and you're trying to get that particular piece off of page one, whereas in SEO work, you're not focused on anything like that. You're just trying to get your domain ranking higher, your product ranking higher. That is one piece of the puzzle. With reputation management, you have domain of the you have that domain, but then you also have other associated articles, associated social signals, and all that stuff has to rank up so that the negative piece can come down.
So we covered AI reputation management in the last episode. Now let's flip that. How is AI changing the marketing playbook for an ORM firm itself? LLMs, GEO, AI overview, all of it. How is that working?
So look, I think with this industry in particular, there's a lot of competition, and AI tools. With these AI tools, you really start to see that through AI overviews and other things. But I think there are good competitors that we have that are doing their work and actually care about their clients, but they're also bad players. And I've said this many times before in other podcasts, but you gotta do your research, guys. You gotta know who you're looking out for, who you're working with. And I think with us, we're trying to differentiate ourselves by doing more, doing podcasts doing cool videos on our social media, exploring the topic of reputation management to a higher degree than ever before, and those things.
Now, do those things help get us placed correctly inside these AI tools?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think, well, one of the things is blogs. I think blogs are going to be always going to be important, and I think we do so much work there to optimize and make things better every time. And I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but I think a lot of competitors are trying to copy our standards for blogs because they're doing such a good job out there. And I know it. I mean, I can see it.
So I mean, how a lot of firms are in this space right now are copying kind of our strategy, but maybe more specifically, got to give you credit, they're copying your strategy. New campaigns, content angles, positioning, even visual styles. I've seen it personally. What's that like to kind of witness? What are your thoughts on that?
First off, I will say that it's definitely like flattering to a degree. I love that I'm making the right decisions, and people are following suit. That's cool. That's really cool. And I'm okay. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say that it's like something that I'm fully comfortable with, like people stealing, like, but it's out there. It's public stuff. Look, if you're gonna try to use and utilize the strategies that I do, that's, I think, completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think because it's out in the public, I have no say on the matter. You can do whatever you want, but I think the best thing I'll say is, whether you're a competitor or new in the industry of reputation management, I think you need to try things different. You need to try new things. It's going to work for you if you take new approaches. Because with me and with the blogs that I'm writing and stuff, we were not doing things like that before. Before I came around, it wasn't like that. When I came around, I changed the tactics completely, and I made a different approach on our blogs, on our socials, everything. And fresh approach. But it was unique. It was my own. When you start copying your competitors instead of doing things on your own, you are actually not going to see the same results as they are. You're not.
Why do you think that so many companies right now are copying our strategy, our looks, our content?
Because we're doing it right. I think we are making the right choices and putting the work in. It's easier to copy another. It's easier to copy the homework assignment rather than do it yourself, right? Same with this industry. If it's easier to copy, why would I write it myself?
I think you also just kind of, if you're copying, you don't understand why it works either, though. You're just kind of copying a strategy that's not maybe for you or your company, but you see it working for someone else, and you're just like, well, if they got that A on the test, I'm going to get the A on the test, but ultimately at the end of the year, you're not going to understand any of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like school metaphors we can have here, I guess.
All of them.
Yeah, funny enough. But you gotta. I really think that I'm not gonna sit here and say that I never, see other people's work and utilize it in my own product. I mean, blogs and stuff, like the way I write our content, the type of stuff that I put in and how I do it, it's going to be it's done that way because I have seen online how you're supposed to write the content, how it needs to have those a bunch of links on it, bunch of internal, external signals on it, and other stuff that we do. I didn't just learn that naturally on my own. That was research. I researched and found that this is the stuff that works.
But you put your own spin on it.
Exactly. Exactly. I didn't like copy word for word what was out there. I made it my own. I created it out of research, which is, it becomes its own unique thing. It doesn't. It's the same with AIoverview.com. We're not creating anything particularly unique with AIoverview.com, but it has its own spin on things. It is unique because it has its own metrics, its own data. It looks at data differently than other tools will.
Yeah.
And I think that is a differentiator
Yeah.
that makes us stand out.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. So, differentiation in kind of a crowded market. TBR runs on cancel anytime contracts. Custom pricing, weekly check-ins, or check-ins that they have set for themselves, and a real client dashboard. We have all these things. A lot of competition locks people into long deals or kind of cookie cutter packages. How does all of that show up in your marketing?
I try to send that message to everyone, like, we are cancel anytime. Yeah. And companies that don't do that are locking you in, it just tells you they're not secure about what they're delivering. They're not secure in their product and what can be accomplished. I think with us, it's more client-facing, client-forward, and that approach is, I think, better and gives us that retention month to month that other companies do not have. Yeah. We don't get a lot of cancellations over here because we keep our clients updated. They understand if something is not going in month 2 the way that it's supposed to, we tell them and we explain to them why that is and what we need to do to fix it. So that is completely different. And I try to, in marketing ways, to promote that messaging throughout.
And what do you think TBR does that's different than some of, let's just say, the competition?
Oh boy, I think we optimize things a lot better. I think we optimize and do our due diligence with our site pages, our UX, and how it's set up, which is always going to be important. How we try to be a lot more client, how we try to be more client facing, I guess, sure. But in a sense of like we're giving them a dashboard and stuff like that. We're giving them the tools and means to communicate with us constantly. In a lot of other reputation management companies, not all of them, but a lot of them, you don't have those options. You kind of are told, this is what we're going to give you first month. You might get a report first month in, but the communication is lackluster, and you don't have a freaking dashboard. You don't have ways to keep track of things as well as we do that here. We really try to make our clients happy with what we are delivering because of that cancel anytime.
So kind of a pay and leave us alone. We'll get you the results, and you'll like it, or you'll take it.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
That just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah. So let's say if a CEO landed on this podcast and they're starting to worry about their reputation, what's the first thing that you'd tell them before they spend a single dollar with anyone, not even us?
Honestly, what I would tell any CEO, a marketer, anyone who is trying to do reputation management work is to, again, do the research. Yeah. Do the research. Make sure you are picking the right business for your needs. Look, there this business, TBR may not be for you necessarily, but you should give us a shot. I'll say that. But
don't scroll away.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say with that is that you should do the research and make sure that you are finding the right business for your niche, for your needs. And I think we, on our end, have a variety of services that we offer, and I think we can be that accommodating. You just have to talk to us. Start the conversation. And I think you should start the conversation with multiple different reputation management companies. That's just the whole honest truth. If you want to get their best offer, talk to multiple businesses.
Right. And so for business owners marketing themselves, on a budget, let's say, what's one move that they could make this week that would strengthen their reputational footprint?
Start tracking things. I would say start tracking things. See how your website is looking online. Use, I mean, AIoverview.com. It's a free tool. Use it, right? That's what I'll just pitch that real quick because it is literally free. You can use it anytime. So, measure things. Measure how your website is doing right now. Take that initial snapshot. Fine, use SEMrush, right? What I'm trying to say is that you need ways to measure what is going on right now and then compare it to when the reputation management campaign starts or whatever else you're trying to do, right. Or if you're trying to do it yourself, you need to measure things to see how things are improving.
Right. So I think maybe for a lot of people, they may be a little bit more business oriented, but is this tech side of things, is it that hard to understand, or do you need to know where to look, or do you talk to the right people to help you understand it?
Look, at TBR, we have years and years and years of experience knowing exactly what to do. Right. If you have that experience yourself, of course, I mean, it's ideal for you to do it yourself. But look, even in that situation, you're going to need multiple people on it because of how many variables there are. You have to do the blogs, you have to do this, you have to do that. And a lot of people are going to say right now, oh, I'll just use AI to do all of it. That doesn't work. AI is a great tool to help automate your efforts, but if you automate every aspect of your job or whatever, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to get the results because you need the human in the loop. You need someone who is able to coordinate all the aspects of your process. Right. And having multiple people keeping track of things, I mean, you just cannot go wrong with that.
Right. So, to kind of wrap things up here, where is ORM marketing heading? What do we have coming down the pipeline in 2 years? What is the AI search? How is it reshaping discovery? What is our future here?
I think it's going to be exponential growth, honestly. Yeah. I think it's going to be even more fierce with the competition. Sure. And you know what? I welcome that. That's fine. Bring it on.
Come on.
Bring it on. But I think it's going to be a mix of those things. AI will become smarter and better at analyzing which reputation management tool is the best for you, and I think that is where we're going to shine at TBR because we are that good. We are trying so many different things. We're working really hard to give you the best quality work possible, and as time goes by and AI improves, we're gonna be more and more so top dogs, I think, in the industry because of that, because it will see just how hard we work over here.
I mean, trust is kind of harder to earn than ever, and the firms that are going to win are going to look very different, I think.
And I get it, Rory. I totally get why people would be so untrustworthy towards reputation management companies. It's a very weird niche thing that you're doing, and if you don't know about ORM, you're just not gonna from the get-go, you're going to have a lot of concerns. You're just not going to know what you're getting into. That's why I say always the client education is number one, whether it's through blogs or whatever else. You need to show your potential clients that you are smart enough to handle it.
If someone were to take one thing away from this entire episode, what would you want it to be?
I feel like the number one thing is going to be to understand exactly how you look online and take control of it, whether that is through reputation management services or whatever else. A lot of this world is moving online. A lot of what we do on a daily basis is going to be moving online, not just your company or whatever, but day-to-day things that you care about, your fingerprint in every which way is online, and it will remain online for the foreseeable future. So the best thing you can do is to take charge of it. You may not necessarily have a negative press release or a negative article about yourself, but you should still take charge of it now to be proactive.
Yeah.
So I guess the word is to be proactive.
Well, Tim, thank you for joining us here on Damage Control today. Folks at home, you guys take care, and we'll see you in the next one.
Nice closer. Bye.